Welcome back, everyone, to round 3 of the ROC Texas State Championship for HeroClix, sponsored by TCGplayer.com and hosted by Space Cadets Gaming. This live stream is brought to you by Nerd Thug Radio. I am your host, Angry Zach, joined by my cohort and compatriot,
Cole Baldridge. When we last left you in round 2, Joe Gutierrez just took a victory with Jakeem and gang. Now with round 3, he still holds the top spot at the feature table and faces Drew Warren, who is sporting another Jakeem team. Let's take a look at his team real quick. So starting off at the top, we have the one, the only, apparently the best piece around, Jakeem Thunder. And we have also additionally a Supreme Intelligence, presumably assigned to Jakeem. The supporting pieces are a little different this round, though. Yeah, sure. Drew's supporting pieces are a little different, and they vary a little in the finer details than Joe's team. He also, supporting Jakeem is a Morlock with Proteus equipped to it, and a Colossal Retaliator Solaris, and Mr. Mixia's Pitalik. Also, the Pin Pocket Tank. So, this is going to be a little bit of a different round. This is, whereas the other team was more grindy and wanted to get up in your face, this is going to be kind of a little more delicate because it's a mirror match in a way. The Jakeem versus Jakeem is really going to be a battle of who's going to play the piece better.
So this really is going to come down to true player skill over who picks the stronger pieces, right?
In a way, sure. Let's go over a little how they're different, because while the pieces are different, they surprisingly share some similarities. So in the past round, we did talk about how Gertrude York and Old Lace was incredibly resilient in with its Raptor ability to deal damage just to the piece to be healed. Well, on Drew's team, he supports it a little differently. So the Morlock is for 10 points. Let's pull up the Morlock real quick. It's a relatively inexpensive figure. People play it at 10 points, and it's one click deep. So it's one click deep, and the Morlock itself really isn't important, as more of that it's a vessel for Proteus. Now Proteus is a 35-point equipment that can be equipped to a character. Now, he increases the character's combat values by +1, but at the beginning of the turn, they roll a d6. On a 1 or a 2, the character takes 1 unavoidable damage. Now, when that character is killed, Proteus will hop on the next character that's 100 points or less, and they can legally be equipped. If there are no legal targets, then Proteus will pop out on the board and stay there as a real boy character. So the popular strategy with the Morlock Proteus combo is to have Morlock be the only legal target for Proteus. And when Morlock dies, that means Proteus will come out on his very last click on click 10. Now let's take a look at what he has. He has 8 range, he has 5 movement with phasing, 11 attack with pulse wave, 18 defense with a special tower that says stop. Proteus takes damage only from close attacks, and a 4 damage with probability control. There's a lot to unpack here. So for 35 points, you essentially have a body that literally cannot be killed except from a close combat attack.
That's an incredible thing to have in this game.
Indeed it is. That's going to mean that one of the pieces are going to have to get up and close. 18 defense is not really something to shy away at, especially if you're attacking with a 10 attack.
And it's literally 18 defense through every round.
Yes.
Through every click, excuse me.
Yeah, and the 18 defense, it's only because Proteus is equipped, we're only looking at the last click. And now the stop click means that power can't be countered or ignored. So that means it'll go through Outwit, it'll be protected from Pulse Wave, so literally it won't take pushing damage, it won't take feedback damage. The only way this thing is dying is if it gets hit up right close in the face.
We've also got, as you guys remember from Joe Gutierrez's last round, we still have the boxing ring on the table, which it looks like here in these early rounds, we've already got some characters in the boxing ring.
Yeah, let's take a look at that right now. So Jakeem looks like Jakeem is taking the Pin Particle Tank and Mr. Mixia's Pitalik into the boxing ring and is going to await a contender right now. So, are you familiar with the Pym particle tank?
Not at all.
Okay, so it's 8 points. It's a little tiny object. And what it is when an adjacent character makes a ranged combat attack, they can choose to modify their attack by -1. And if they do that, when they do that, they take the main Pym particle tank on the sideline and place it on the map adjacent to the hit target. And now, any of the squares that it occupies when it just blows up and becomes a real big thing, any characters in there are dealt 2 damage and are repositioned. Now, before the recent errata, this used to be something as a really powerful disruption piece because it can blow up walls, it can mess up your board position, it can deal penetrating damage, though now it only deals -1 damage and has the potential to just be a disruption piece. So we'll see how effective it is post-errata right now. Now it looks like Joker has entered the ring, and he's going to make a swing at Jakeem. And that looks like to be a 9.
Now, the Joker is a pretty strong character in this game, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
He's incredibly resilient. Let's see, that seems to be a miss. Or at least he rolled out of it. Oh, that's a hit, and he's rolling blades. And alright, so it looks like Drew is using the Mixie die pretty defensively, replacing the Joker's die replacement attacks. Let's go over that real quick.
So what hit did we just see?
Okay, so it looked like Joker entered the boxing ring, so he has a +1 attack against close combat, and he went and attacked Jakeem. And so he went and attacked, and he missed, or he hit, and then he had to re-roll for probability control, and then he hit again. And so he then went to roll damage for Blade's Claw's Fangs.
Sure.
So what that is when you make an attack, you roll a d6.
Right.
Whatever the d6 is, you deal that much damage instead of your normal damage. Now, Drew is sporting Mixie on his main force. And so what Mixie does is at the beginning of the game, he rolls a d6, and he just sets that aside. And anytime there's a re-rollable die that's tossed on the battlefield, he can just go, I want to replace that with whatever I just rolled at the beginning of the game. So that definitely has, that can be quite frustrating to play against when you roll just that thing you want and they just decide to mess up with you. Now, for crew quickie, Drew is the first player in this feature match that does not have ID cards on his sideline. It's interesting to see that he is using that kind of strategy.
Seems like he prefers to have his characters all on the board and not take hits for points by playing characters who aren't on the board.
There could be some merit in that. All right, it looks like Drew is picking hypersonic speed with Jakeem and shape change. So he's going to try to go out in somewhere. Alright, so Mixie's going to re-roll his die so he can keep that disruption up. Oh, and he rolled a 6. That could really help him in the future. Alright, now Solaris is going to come in and he's going to try to dish out action tokens.
For those of you at home, it's a little hard to see from the bird's eye view, but Solaris is this huge jelly-looking eyeball spine thing. It looks like a chestnut made out of Jell-O. It's about 11 feet in diameter, which is taking up an enormous amount of the board here.
Now, Solaris targets all the characters within the opposing characters within 4 squares, and if he hits, he gives them action tokens, and if they can't take action tokens, they'll take penetrating damage. So, unlike it is in a way another hindering piece, kind of like Wonder Woman that we saw earlier in round 1, but instead of making them unable to move, they'll just take action tokens and have to force them to clear next turn.
So it's not so much damage as he deals as action.
Yeah, and if they're already pushed out, then they'll take the
Gotcha.
then they'll take the action penetrating damage. All right, so looks like Drew is throwing out the tank already and dealing damage to Old Lace and the Joker.
So he's expanding the Pym tank.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken here, which is going to throw the Joker and Olace out of the boxing ring as well as dealing them damage.
Yes.
Much like a real tank dropped into a boxing ring.
Definitely, yes, indeed. That's kind of something like it. It definitely would deal a lot of damage. And it looks like the weight of the tank is throwing out the boxing ring right now. Let's see. I think he's trying to figure out how to place it. Yeah, I think they're just going to use a smaller. It looks like they're using smaller pieces just for efficiency
just
right
to fit it in, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so. All right, let's see what the potential is from here. So he threw them out of the ring.
So now, if I'm not mistaken, only Drew's characters are now in the boxing ring, correct? Along with the tank.
Yes, it looks like Drew is going to try to play defensively inside the boxing ring. Now, remember, anybody who attacks from outside a character inside the boxing ring that also isn't inside the boxing ring is going to get -2 to their attack. And so, it looks like he may try... Oh, it looks like he spoke too soon. It looks like Jakeem is going for the other Jakeem.
Oh, excellent. The strength of the will situation here. That's lovely.
All right, getting the mirror match off already. All right, it looks like the players are trying to... All right, so it looks like Joe is reminding Drew of the powers that Eclipso has. And he's reconsidering his positioning. So, if I had to guess, it looked like he used hypersonic speed on this matchup, on this play right here. Let's see what he does. All right, he's making the attack, and that's an 8. Or that's a 6. That would be a miss. He uses probability control. All right, and he's replacing it with his Mixie die, ensuring that that is a hit. And Jakeem will take looks like Jakeem will take 2 clicks of damage. So that should put him on click number 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so Jakeem would have 10 movement, phasing, 10 attack, 17 defensive toughness, and 4 damage with probability control. Though he still has the ability to pick the 2 powers that he needs. All right. So they're out in force already.
A lot of movement on this board in this round.
Oh yes, no. All right, his Morlock is making a movement up. He might try to get the Joker to kill him, or get somebody to kill him so Proteus can pop out.
Basically, at this point, the Morlock is just bait to bring out Proteus, correct?
Yes. If the Morlock hasn't died yet, then either you can try pushing him out or try to bait him into burning an action to kill him.
Players are carefully considering their moves now after a flurry of activity on Kenny's side.
Now Joe might have to be on the defensive so far. All right, so what do you think of this round so far?
Well, it's always got to be a challenge, I would think, to play someone who's playing the same character as you. So not only do you have to be aware of what your characters can do, you also have to be aware of, oh, this person can also do the same thing as me. So every move you make has to take that into consideration as well.
Yeah, every decision that you do have to make, they need to take into consideration, because whatever Drew's or Joe's Jakeem can do, the other Jakeem can also do. Clicks teams tend to revolve around a rock, paper, scissors matchup, so it's always kind of weird when there's a mirror match going up, because now you have to readapt your playstyle to anticipate and react to a playstyle that is similar to yours.
Well, and you almost have to play as though you don't want to necessarily show what your guy can do unless you absolutely have to, because you never know if the person playing the same pieces you didn't know about it or hadn't occurred to them. Seems like a very large struggle. I also don't really get the point of the boxing ring here. It seems like whoever plays the boxing ring, it has the potential to hurt them as much as it does anyone they're playing. And I guess it depends on the kind of characters you're playing, but I haven't seen the boxing ring really benefit anyone except for against the mini shredders.
It seems to be, if I had to guess, that Joe could use the ring defensively to get his main hitting pieces inside there and to try to goad the opponent into getting in the ring with him. Now he seems to be using a little bit of tactically, just because of the way the map is positioned right now and the pieces that are on the board, it probably is not going to have the same effect that we saw it have last round.
Well, and it seems to have backfired this time because Joe's been pushed out, right?
Indeed. Let's see if Joe is trying to retaliate.
We have another
right
Jakeem attack here.
Yeah, we do.
Brother fighting brother. It's just like the Civil War.
Civil Jakeem War.
Nice.
All right, so let's see what's happening right now.
We've also got the weird haha Joker now. Ha 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 Joker, I believe is the correct technical name for that piece.
Yeah, something like that. All right, and it looks like
Morlock
Morlock is out. That's going to be 10 points for Joe.
So Morlock is out now. Proteus, excuse me, is in.
Yes.
As well as, I want to say I heard Joe say he was bringing out Nick Fury.
Let's see. All right. Oh, looks like the Dinosaur is going to make a swing at the tank. All right, Drew's Jakeem is going to use probability control. All right, we're going to deal. All right, so Old Lace did take a swing at the swipe at the tank, and
He did 1 damage, I believe.
he did do 1 damage. Now the particle tank has a couple of clicks of life right now. It is currently on click. It should be on click number 12, so it can take another attack before it goes down, and it would score Joe another 50 points. So even though the Pim Pocket Tank was 8 starting out in the game, it's been replaced by this larger piece. So could be a little bit of a tactical trade-off here. We'll have to see. So Drew may be on the defensive. Drew may be on the defensive and trying to recover and gain more points at this point. So what we're seeing right now is Joe is incrementally trying to get ahead right now. He's keeping Old Lace up near. He's going to take Gertrude up near Night Nurse, so we can try to establish the same recursion loop that we've seen before.
Right. With the Night Nurse able to heal people, it really comes in handy.
Oh yes, and now he's healing, and the ball is now in Drew's court. So if we can see to the bottom right corner, there seems to be a small plaque of powers that people have been getting as an accessory to play with Jakeem, so you can easily track what kind of powers he has.
Because if I'm not mistaken, you have to decide what Jakeem's going to do at the beginning of your turn, correct?
Yes. And additionally, if you have the Supreme Intelligence and Eclipso or Brainiac on it, then that's just a lot of 3-4 powers to keep track of.
Oh, here comes big old Solaris.
Out.
One of my favorites. I love a colossal piece, especially one that has a 4-foot diameter like this one. It's just enormous.
All right, looks like he's going after Old Lace.
Again, if you can't really tell from the video at home, the Solaris piece looks like a huge chestnut made out of Jell-O that has been hardened with an eyeball in the middle of it.
So let's take a look real quick. So Gertrude and Old Lace would be able to still take the damage because it's a trait, so it's not going to be able to be outwitted by Solaris, although that would have been a strong play. So let's see where Solaris tries to make an attack.
Who is Solaris attacking here? Why?
He's one of the Colossals that came in the Super Boosters from Superman and Wonder Woman back in November of 2015. They brought back the Super Boosters for the first time in a couple of years, and they all had a sub-theme of Colossal Retaliation. So you had things like the Atom, you had Giganto, you had Solaris,
Super Enormous Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Super Enormous Wonder Woman actually came out just recently with the Elseworlds 15th anniversary set. It's part of this year's Summer OP Colossal events.
Moving a little bitty piece. I'm not sure who that is.
Looks like he's repositioning Mixie.
Mr. Mixel Pixel Lickets, right?
Oh, and then
I think that's the correct way to say that.
something like that. He's going to move Proteus closer in on the action. Well, let's see how effective this might be. Now, Night Nurse isn't going to be able to deal any damage to Proteus. Jakeem would be able to if he was able to break away from the other Jakeem.
Right, because Proteus, because he's made of whatever,
yes,
he can only be attacked when he's close by.
Yes, exactly. And so Joe's Jakeem should be off his sidestep click right now, so he wouldn't be able to pick plasticity and be able to quickly break away from the other Jakeem. Though he does have facing teleport. And let's see what happens.
A lot of heavy thought by these guys right now.
There's a lot of that going on. A lot of brain power being churned today.
Yeah, it's really hot in here. From the brain power, I mean.
All right, Drew is clearing his his characters, and turning the turnover.
All right. So it looks like he just brought Solaris out and didn't really do much with it.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he used to attack it. If I had to guess, it would have been against Old Lace.
Seems like he's positioning himself to surround Jakeem, right? So I just wonder how Joe's going to react to that.
Maybe he's repositioning Solaris, because Solaris has Outwit, and so he can use that to just start picking off powers from any characters he beats. Alright, so
right now, what if you were Joe right now, what's your biggest threat on the board?
it would definitely be Jakeem. He's the primary piece and has the most points. The tank has already been used, and so it's just going to sit on the board. Now, at this point, Proteus could start taking shots at Jakeem, but he couldn't start single target pulse waving, and he has no form of movement attack, so he's going to have to start repositioning. He would have to start repositioning before he really starts getting off damage. So he would want to try to stay away from Jakeem he would try to stay away from Proteus, either out of range or with other people within range, so he would not get the full 4 damage from Pulse Wave. I would try to deal as much damage to the other Jakeem as possible if I were in his position, just to get him down to those lower clicks and have to force him to use regeneration or to retreat. Because right now both Jakeems are based to each other. So if either are going to want to move, they're going to have to try to break away and to hit something else. So he's just trying to be really all right.
Looks like he's going to try to move Jakeem away.
I think he's going to attack the other Jakeem.
Oh, nice.
All right, so. What happened? Oh, looks like he used Pulse Wave. No? Alright, so it looks like he used Pulse Wave to hit all of the characters and then rolled doubles, dealing knockback damage.
So he hit all the characters, including his own.
Yes.
Did that do more harm than good?
Or was it? Well, he's making a second attack, so let's see. I'm not quite sure what he's doing at this point. Oh, so it looked like Night Nurse is healing up Gertrude and Old Lace at this point.
So it looked like he only clicked damage to his own players. Or did I miss where he also dealt damage to Solaris?
Oh, no, he went and took out Mixie as well.
Oh, goodness.
So that disruption right there is going to definitely put him ahead in some regards. He's not going to have to deal with worrying about if his attacks will be disrupted by replacement guys. And that will put him a point, 80-0.
There's the ha 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 Joker. So
coming in, having a good laugh of the time.
now is that ha 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 Joker more of a defensive player or is it attack?
Well, let's take a look at the dial real quick. Joker is quite an oddity. Joker's kind of a little bit of an oddity because, as you can see, he doesn't really have a KO click, and he has relatively mediocre attack and very low damage, but where his strength lies, and he's incredibly resilient and hard to kill, so he can act as a tie-up piece. So he's not necessarily offensive or defensive, but he can harass the other player and base them.
And he can draw attack for a long. Because I think you said last time he's got pretty much the equivalent of 18 clicks, right?
Something like that. So you have, because at this point you just have to force, Joe has to force Drew to just take care of the Joker, otherwise the Joker over time is just going to deal more and more damage.
Right, and it looks like he's moved the ha Joker in between the two Jakeems, right?
Yes, indeed. So it looks like he is... Alright, looks like he's dealing more damage to Jakeem.
Now, what happened there? It looks like he added an action to the Night Nurse. Did she do another healing on...
No, I think, if I had to guess, it looked like it was another Pulse Wave. We'll have to see it. Though in Drew's case, a multi-target Pulse Wave would make sense because the Joker's not going to quit. Oh no, it's not the Joker. Solaris used an attack and gave everybody action tokens.
Ah, I see.
And so the Joker rolled out of that, evaded that with super senses. Drew's taking a consideration of what to do now with Jakeem. He has to break away from Joker before getting to him, for sure.
So, is the Joker effectively boxing up Drew's Jakeem right now?
That seems to be the case. I mean, because he's right in between both Jakeems, Drew's going to have to break away before making another attack to the Jakeem, which is going to run him the risk of failing to break away and not being able to move.
There's not much funny about that at all.
No. It might be funny for Joe, but
that's true.
Certainly not Drew's situation.
Joe has a very stoic look on his face now. This is 2 rounds in a row where I've only seen him consider things and speak. Never a laugh, never a smile. He's very, 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 very into this. Found out today that Joe is coming from Laredo, Texas, all the way here to Houston, which is not a short trip by any stretch of the imagination.
No kidding. All right, so it looks like, if I had to guess, it looks like Proteus just hit Jakeem.
Uh-oh.
All right. So Drew successfully sidestepped away.
Well, and also, did he deal damage to Joe's Jakeem?
I think Joe's Jakeem did just take a hit. I think he may be trying to finish the job right now.
So, with Jakeem being 140 points, Drew could very easily jump into the lead here.
Indeed, if Drew took out Joe's Jakeem, he would be taking out 140 points of Jakeem and would be taking another 25 points of Eclipso. And depending upon who the symbiote is equipped to, maybe possibly another 6 points after that. That would decidedly put him in the lead and then just have to clean up the other pieces. Alright, so it's +1 attack and super senses and shape change.
So what are we seeing now?
I think we see...
So the haha Joker is now attacking Proteus, it looks like.
No, I think Joe is trying to see if he wants to knock Joker onto a different click. And he's going to take 1 damage and try to knock him on a different click.
To what effect?
Well, the Joker alternates powers every dial, so depending on what the situation is, it looks like... Oh, it looks like Jakeem is making an attack. Oh. I think Joker's going to go after Proteus right now.
Now he's looking to attack the...
That's a 7 for 2 damage. Alright, so Joe has...
Oh, is that 2 damage on the tank?
It is, and the tank is now KO'd. Getting Joe even more points in the lead. So with 15 minutes on the clock to Joe, Joe is 2 for 2 currently right now for 130 to 0. He could very well be our first back-to-back feature match winner.
Ooh.
Getting
Exciting
Grabbing
stuff.
popcorn now, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get exciting.
So now the tank's off the board. All Joe's action tokens are gone except for...
Yeah,
no,
and now it's Drew's turn to provide an answer.
Okay. You took invincible. Second hit. Took invincible. Jakeem is going to take flurry and out.
All right. So Jakeem is going to be taking flurry and outwit. So he's going to try to go all. Looks like he's going to try to go all in on Joe's Jakeem and try to deal as much damage as possible.
Well, moving the big chestnut guy. Like to see that. Love a colossal player.
Up the old place. They have to be dealing damage to Gertrude. And that is a 10. And also tokens up the Joker as well. So that means Joker's not going to be able to make an attack next turn. Except he evaded out of it with super senses. And Gertrude and Old Lace take another click. Now, if Drew can manage to kill the Gertrude and Old Lace, then the Pog is going to be much less of a threat, because as soon as it takes damage, it's going to be gone.
Really hate to see that dinosaur leave the board, though, man. I love a dinosaur.
It's proving to be quite the interesting piece.
My goodness, between dinosaurs and night nurses and flying chestnuts, I don't know how you guys wrap your heads around this game. 10 years I've been doing commentary on HeroClix, and it just surprises me every single day.
Well, you can have your head whirled even more around later this year when the horror-themed clicks come back.
Oh, that's exciting.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have zombies and Abraham Lincoln zombie and
finally
Mr. Hyde. Yeah, it's going to be...
I've been waiting for a Halloween zombie HeroClix.
It's like a resurgence of horror clicks.
That's nice.
This will be quite interesting. All right, let's see. So... Oh, Jakeem is going after Gertrude and Old Lace. Guess he's tired of that Pog causing too much trouble. Oh, wait. It looks like the opponent's Jakeem, Drew's Jakeem is off. Joe's Jakeem is off the board.
Ooh,
so that would
that's a
definitely
big leap
Drew
forward
ahead.
by Drew.
Wow, this is an interesting turn of events. So Drew is now decidedly ahead, and all he has to do now is mop up the support.
Just about 12 minutes left in the round, and one of the strongest players on Joe's, maybe the tentpole player on Joe's team, is now gone.
Yeah, that's going to be really hard to come back from, especially...
That is a tricky game.
Especially with Joe taking up more time trying to recover and escape from Drew's Jakeem.
So who's left? Who does Joe have? He has Arsenic.
Excuse
me, not Arsenic. He has Gertrude and Old Lace, as well as the Ha-Ha Joker and the Night Nurse, correct?
And the Old Lace Bystander token. That's all he has left. He can't call out any of his ID characters at this point.
And with Solaris continuously putting action tokens on people, it's going to get real difficult for him to do any kind of move.
Indeed. Now the Proteus is coming in, and if he could mop up, I mean, Proteus is going to come in and possibly... All right. Well, it looks like Jakeem is going to clear, and Drew's going to turn the table over to Joe.
I don't know if you know this, but Proteus is a Greek word that means see-through, which you can't really tell from the character coin, but he is see-through.
I guess so. I mean, I think he's this. I guess he's this energy that possesses. And
it's crazy. Greek's such a funny language. They have a different word for everything.
Oh, indeed. It's not as confusing as English. All right, let's see what Joe's about to do. All right, he's going to make it. Joker is going to. All right, Joe's going to heal Joker about one click. 2 clicks, and let's see what he wants to do.
There's a lot of action on table 1 today. A lot of the earlier rounds, people are just gathering around, breathing hard on the people who are playing at table 1. It's an exciting day for them.
No, it is. All right, let's see what happens.
It's going to be hard to maintain your focus while performing for an audience.
All right, so he's going to try to take out Solaris at this point.
Is that little dinosaur we all love?
Yep, whole place is going to do it, and it just didn't do it. Solaris has a 19 attack, so that's going to be really hard for.
That's incredible.
Cold Lace. I mean, that requires rolling a 9. It's statistically unlikely, although it is possible.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Looks like that's another 70 points in favor of
Sir Gertrude and Olace got removed.
as well as Night Nurse too.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
It's a strong showing after a slow start by Drew here.
Indeed it is. Let's see what's left for.
So Drew still got his tentpole character, Jakeem, as well as See-Through, or Proteus, as you English speakers know, as well as Solaris.
Yeah, that is 235. Alright, that is 235 to 130. So all he has to do now is just waylay on Joker until he eventually dies.
It does take a lot of clicks to get rid of Joker, but it's not impossible.
Oh no, let's see what he does. You got your Vision Strike to cut through the super senses and invincible, so Joker can't damage him.
What a delight.
So now all he has to do is just pick pieces like those, and he's going to be home free.
Really, with 8 minutes left, Kenny can almost just run out the clock. How much running out of the clock do you see, or taking a knee in HeroClix? Or do players pretty much try to conscientiously play until the end of the round?
It depends. It depends. If it's definite that one player cannot recover from it, you might just see somebody make a concession to that. Usually, though, the players either play until the clock runs out, or one side is totally gone.
Yeah, so you don't see a lot of people winning by running out the clock, I guess.
I wouldn't necessarily call it running out the clock. You're more likely to see a game go to time than somebody try to
stretch time. Yeah. So I guess you could say in a lot of ways, people who play HeroClix are bigger athletes than football players.
All right, that's 3. And Joker takes some damage, and he removes another token. It's all about optimal strategy, and it's a competitive environment, and you do the best strategy in order to win. Sometimes that may be going aggro, and sometimes it's more being reserved and not taking riskier chances.
I could see that.
All right.
A lot of games today I've been noticing at the other tables have been going right up until time limit. I haven't seen very many, and granted we haven't been at every board, but I haven't seen very many blowouts, just straight wiping the board with people, which is nice. It's refreshing to see a good competition.
All right.
Big chestnut guy is chasing down Joker.
Yeah.
Like to see that.
All right, Jakeem's going to take a shot at Proteus. And all right, now Jakeem's going to take a shot at Joker. Super senses, no. I think he's just resigned to making super senses rolls just to see if it happens. Oh no, it's shape change. Oh, so Joker now has the symbiote.
Is it another hit on Joker?
I think that is another hit on Joker.
Slowly but surely, Drew's wearing him down.
Yeah. Well, Joker just heals right back up.
Oh, that's rough.
I know. I told you.
That's got to be disheartening.
I know. It's just containment sometimes could be a better option because it just takes so much damage to deal.
Yeah. When he's the last character on the board, though, it's got to be disheartening to just see him keep rehealing and 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 rehealing.
I mean, at this point, Drew has the game in the bag, and so as long as he just doesn't get careless and let the Joker wipe up the rest of his supporting pieces, he has this on lock.
Yeah. We're right about the 5.5 minute mark.
I'm still seeing them sliding it out. Oh, that's a 6, and that would be a miss. Okay. Sidestep away.
Oh, there's a big chestnut eyeball guy.
Solaris is using
Like to see
shape
that.
change. Alright, Proteus is taking a shot, and shape change, and it fails. Oh, it succeeds. Proteus is... Oh no, it fails. Super senses, and it succeeds. Jakeem's gonna take a swing at him. Alright, now here comes the attack, and that's a 6. He's gonna use probability control. And that's a hit.
Another big.
Now they're just slogging it out back and forth.
This is rough. One Joker against Solaris, Proteus, Jakeem, and he's still in there holding his own.
Indeed, it's a testament to how useful 30 points could be.
But isn't at this point it is useful and it isn't, right? Because this Joker's not gaining Joe any advantage. All it's doing is keeping the game going for longer than maybe...
Joker by himself is not a game-winning piece. He's definitely more useful as the utility tie-up.
Right, so then what...
But now that he's the only one on the board, he's just does not have...
All
power.
Joe can hope to do is accidentally get an attack.
Or accidentally start critting against Jakeem. Or try to go after Proteus.
A lot of people gathering around table 1 now. It's exciting stuff to see the Joker taking on a bunch of people, apparently.
All right, let's see what's going through their head right now.
Almost just 3 minutes left in the final stretch here.
All right. Yeah, it looks like Joe is definitely going to try to go after Proteus and score some last-minute points.
It's exciting. You like to see a player playing until the very end, but
Indeed, it is
as
good.
fruitless as it might be.
It's especially good sportsmanship to be able to play out and let your team play out and finish the game to its completion.
I am noticing that those cup turnovers where he's rolling his dice for Joe are getting a lot more harder on the table. I think he's
Realizing his inevitable fate.
yeah.
Oh, and he's
Rolling and re-rolling and
probability
re-rolling.
control all day long. So many. He's just trying to take down Proteus at this point. All
Ooh,
right,
a
so he's
poison.
gonna call poison on the Joker, who doesn't have defensive powers.
Really?
Well, he has traded super senses, but nothing that would reduce poison.
That's crazy. You would think super senses would allow you to smell poison.
That would be an interesting. All right, and that is the game.
All right. Final score, it looks like 235.
265 to 130.
It's an impressive showing by Drew.
What's his Joker?
Joker is 30 points.
All right.
So 265 to 130. What was your overall impression of this match? I think it lasted a lot longer than it needed to, but like we discussed, you like to see someone fight to the very bitter end.
I think part of it, of why it lasted so long, is that it did have that mirror match element in which you had the Jakeems against the Jakeems, and it wasn't so decided early on in the match. Okay, I'm not really sure what the definitive play of the game of this one would be that ultimately determined through it. I just think that Drew taking out Jakeem definitely put him ahead. Because for both teams, whoever would take out the other Jakeem would win.
Right, because Jakeem for both of them is a temp-hole character.
Yes.
Just basically carrying the team with both strength and abilities and points.
Yes, the rest of the pieces on those teams are supported.
Yeah.
So excellent. That should be round 3 of 4. So we can come back to you with one more round, and then we cut the top 8.
Yeah, we'll see you guys at round 4.
All right.
Take it easy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Catch you later.